What's good, YouTube? We're back again with another video, and today I'm finally starting my position ranking. This is one of my favorite things to do on YouTube. Everybody literally does it. Every NBA YouTuber does it. But to me, this is my favorite thing to do, especially because I love the off season and it leads to talks like this, and I think this can lead to a lot of NBA talk. So let's just get straight into it. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's go. So to start off with number 10, I have 3 guys named. Now, these names are going to surprise you because 2 of these names have been like some of the biggest names of the offseason, and the reason why I'm stuck between those 2 because I think they both have valid arguments, and I have one more player that barely played last season and kind of gets underrated and scrutinized a little bit too much. Those players are Tyrese Halliburton, LaMelo Ball, and Jamal Murray. Now, probably like, bro, Jamal Murray just went crazy in the playoffs. Jamal Murray just won the finals. That's cool. I get it. But we have to realize all these point guards above him don't play with Jokic. Not saying that, and this, I hate this reasoning, and I'm actually mad that I said that, but it's so easy to be the number 2. A lot of these guys are the number 1. They are the team, and even the guys that are not, they just have things in their game that I feel like if they were paired with Jokic, which I do think Jokic makes the game a lot easier for Jamal, but he does have to show up. But these guys above him, I feel like if they were paired with Jokic, they could do the same thing, if not better. Now, I also would love to see how Jamal would look on his own team, like most of these guys are. And I hate that I had to use that against him, but it's just how it is, bro. I just don't see him as better than the players that I have above him. Now, Hallie, I understand everybody's like, bro, when he was healthy, they were in the playoff. That was the first month and a half. So I'm not hearing that. That's why he wasn't a for sure on my list. But I can't lie. Hallie is a very, very good point guard. Like, when you look up point guards in the dictionary, you're going to see guys like him. You're going to see Darius, Garland. You're going to see Chris Paul, James Harden. You're just going to see a lot of guys that are very, very good playmakers. But with Hallie, I think a lot of his playmaking, I won't say it's overrated, but I don't think it's at the level of guys above him, like the Darius Garlands, the Hardens, the Ja Morants, and the Trae Youngs. And he might average more assists than him, but I don't think he is as good of a playmaker as those guys. And I think it's because they're just so much better scorers that it just becomes so easily. And I think they just set their guys up way better than Hallie. But I just have to give credit for Hallie, like the way he runs that offense and how he's just so fast. I love it. I love that Rick Carlisle allowed him to be free. And you can kind of tell, and you even heard Hallie say it in a Paul George interview that as soon as he went there, he basically just told Rick Carlisle that he run it, and that's what they do. So I do love how Hallie runs the offense. Now, the third player, LaMelo Ball. He didn't play last season, so he's probably not going to make the list, but we just got to be honest. LaMelo is one of the best point guards in the league, and it sucks, bro. There's a point guard, it's like 15 deep of really good guys that can be top 10, but LaMelo had a very good scoring year last year. He only played like 38 games, I believe. We already know who he is, a good playmaker. I do think he's a better playmaker in the full court than in the half court. I don't see him as a really good half court playmaker like a lot of other people do, but I think in the full court he's one of the best. And I do think the reason why he's not going to make my list is I do think Jamal Murray and Hallie are the smarter players, and that's something that he kind of gets criticized a lot for, that he's just not smart. And I get it. I understand why he's not smart, because Charlotte, like, it's nothing. It's not a lot of it's not a good place to play at. I forgot the word I was going to say, but it's just not a lot of good place to play at where they just teach discipline. I feel like Allie's been taught that, and we know Jamal's been taught that. So to go up number 10, I'm going to give the respect to Jamal Murray. Just did what he did in the finals. Damn near average. I believe he damn near average triple-double, if I'm not mistaken. But he had really good finals. I think he was a way better playmaker than I thought he was. And I'm not just judging that because of 10 assists. No, I'm talking about in the whole playoff run. Just paying attention to it a little bit more. I do think he was a way better playmaker. And then he just shows up. He shows up. But I just want to keep seeing it. I want to see it more in the regular season. And I think this is like his first regular season where he just has an off season. He's playing in FIBA right now. So we're probably going to see him and starting the season a little bit more ramped up, unlike he was in the last 2 years. So I'm really happy with how Jamal Murray came back last year, and that's what I'm gonna have at 10. It sucks that Hallie didn't make it because he is, in everybody's mind, he should be a top 10 point guard, but it's just so deep. Now at number 9, we have James Harden, who has fallen in a lot of my lists. And I'm not gonna like be one of those guys that look straight to the playoffs. I do think Harden had an all-star season, damn near all NBA season. But just about his game, and that's kind of how I rank players, and more so about your game. I take into account of your performances too. But about his game, I do think he's kind of dialed it back as a scorer. And it's been like 3 years now since he did that, and you can see it's just the burst is not there no more. Getting to the rim is pretty hard for him to do, so getting penetration is hard for him to do. But for him to still lack all that stuff and be a guy that leads the league and assists, that's something that is very cool to see. And I do think he's still a very good number 2 option, especially next year if he's going into the Clippers where he's a number 3 option. I think they got a very good point guard at the number 3 option. But I do think we do have to look at the playoffs a little bit and be like, all right, that's a little bit bad that you really only had like 3 good games in the whole playoffs, and you played, I believe, 11 games. So I'm gonna take that into account. But I do think Harden did have a very good season, and I do think he's definitely better than any of the guys that I have under him. So that's why I have at number 9. Now number 8, I have the guy himself, Jalen Brunson. Now a lot of people think I hate Jalen Brunson because what he did to us in the playoffs. No, you are very wrong. It's one of my favorite players. I can't rock with him because he is a part of the ops, but it's one of my favorite players. One of the most exciting players in the league, one of the best scorers in the league, and it kind of came out of nowhere. We've seen it a little bit in the 2022 playoffs, but like that was the first time we seen Jalen Brunson like get loose, like get free. But like for him to do what he did with this Knicks team, lead this team to I believe a 5th seed, going to the 2nd round on Jimmy Butler's head, averaged 31 points in that round. And yes, he did start off a little bit slow, and if he would have started off fast, they probably could have won that series. But when they was down 3-1 and he stepped up his game and started dogging Jimmy Butler, stuff like that, I just love to see. But just looking back at him, man, I'm very excited of the player that he's become. I do think they have one of the best point guards in the league, and they've been looking for a point guard for so long. So shout out to New York. And I just think comparing him to the guys under him, like I said, we just never seen Jamal lead a team like Jalen Brunson and just led a team. I don't think Hallie can fuck with Jalen Brunson at all. And I just think that with James Harden, he dialed it back as a scorer, and it kind of fucked him up because then now he's just not as good as he once was. And Jalen Brunson is just, he's that guy. So that's who I have at number 8. Now at number 7, I have Darius Garland. Now you might think this is biased. If you do, I don't really care what you think. Say no, I just don't care. I don't think it's a biased take. I think Darius Garland is better than Jalen Brunson. I think both of them guys are comfortably better than any of the guys below them. But I just think Darius Garland is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. And I get it. That's because Donovan Mitchell was just at an MVP level this season. But like when it comes to the playoffs, a lot of people like to point out how Darius had one bad game, but like don't really look at what Donovan Mitchell did. But I'm not gonna make this a Donovan Mitchell hate video. I think Darius Garland is one of the most underrated scorers in this league. I think he's one of the best shooters in this league and one of the best playmakers. I believe a top 7 playmaker in this league. And the reason why I have him over Jalen Brunson is because of the playmaking. I think their scoring is closer than their playmaking. I do think arguably Darius might be a better scorer, but I understand why people will have Jalen Brunson because I don't think they don't have similar games, but I do think they're both very good at 3-level scorers. But the one thing that separates Jalen Brunson's scoring from Darius Garland's scoring is the ability to take over, and that's kind of hard for Darius to do when he's playing next to Donovan Mitchell. But I get why you would say Jalen Brunson is better scorer, but you cannot argue at all who is a better playmaker. We all know Darius clears as a playmaker, so that's why I have him over Jalen Brunson, and I have him over any of the other guys. I think his ability to score is better than Harden's now, even though they both have the same points. But as we've seen in the playoffs, it was kind of hard for Harden to do anything. And Darius, even though he had that one terrible game, if you go back and watch that game, it was all open shots. He was just missing all the shots that he usually makes. So y'all gotta chill with that. And then after that, he had a really good series. And it, like, I don't even want to get into it. But yeah, at number 7, I have Darius Garland. Now, before we get into my next player, I want to say shout out to Drew Holiday. I haven't said his name the whole video, and that's part I kind of messed up. But shout out Drew Holiday. He's not on this list, but shout out Drew Holiday. Yeah, I know how I love me some Drew Holiday. I also need to say something. Shea and Kyrie Irving are not point guards. Bye. At number 6, we have Ja Morant. Now, this is where it gets controversial because y'all seeing Ja Morant right here, y'all absolutely know who's going to be over him. At number 6, I have Ja Morant. And It's not no hate. Exact. Just like Jalen Brunson. For y'all that think I hate Ja Morant, it's just because I like to troll Ja Morant. Ja Morant is a very fun player to watch. I think Ja Morant is one of the most, if not the most underrated playmaker in the world. Like the way he makes his talent around him look like they're good. Not saying that they're bad, but I'm sorry, I don't look at Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson like a lot of you do. And I think they look a lot better because of Ja Morant and his playmaking. And we all know how exciting he is, especially in the full court. And we all know he does have his problems in the half court. And that's why he's not over the guy that's right above him. And he did have a kind of a down year when it came to finishing. He was actually pretty bad when it came to finishing. But just Ja Morant, he's one of the best players in the world. And I love his ability to take over the game. And I just love how he set a culture over there, man. They didn't really mean that much before he got there. Now that he's here, they're like, always the talk of the season. Always the talk of the season. Shout out to Ja Morant. I can't wait till he comes back. Hopefully you're not in trouble outside of the game. I'm trolling. At number 5, I have De'Aaron Fox. Breakout year, De'Aaron Fox. It's just a lot of stuff in his game that Ja just don't got. Like that mid-range game, the ability to hit a jump shot, the clutchness. And yeah, Ja Morant was once a clutch player, but like De'Aaron was like on some all-time. When you look at his clutch numbers, he was on some all-time shit last year. And for me, this is my list, my preference. I just would like my point guard to be able to hit a jump shot and be able to do it consistent. And I think what De'Aaron was doing in that mid-range last season, especially in the clutch, that's why I'm putting him over Ja. And when you just look at the numbers, like the clutch numbers, the true shooting numbers, I think he shot 80% around the rim, or it was 70-something, which is crazy for a guard. 70% around the rim. I have to have De'Aaron over Ja. And like I said, not hate tape, but like, bro, in the beginning of the season, everybody was like, the kids could probably make the play-in or some shit. Motherfuckers made the 3rd seed, and he was the clutchest player in the league by far. Just let him have this. Give him he's on that level. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people would be like, he has been doing this for years. This is the first year he had his real team, and they're the 3rd seed, and they're pushing the championship 7 games, and he's the clutchest player in the league. Like, stop with that. I hate takes like that. De'Aaron Fox is one of them ones. So I have De'Aaron at number 5. Now, at number 4, I have the most hated player in the NBA for absolutely no fucking reason. I have Trae Young. The Trae Young hate is so weird. Like, y'all trying to compare him to guys like Tyrese Halliburton, Jamal Murray, and Jalen Brunson. Like, can y'all stop, bro? That's just, it's so weird. And the logic and the reason for the shit be like so dumb, or be shit that Trae has already done. Like, shout out to my boy Vontae. I'm not trying to come at you, but he was like, I like Jalen Brunson's ability in the one-on-one and the pick and roll. Nigga, did you just name the pick and roll when talking about Trae Young? Arguably the best pick and roll player in the league? Like, stuff like that. Just say you don't like him. Please, just say you don't like him. Because these guards y'all naming is not better than Trae. And then all the guys under him, 100% honest, they cannot fuck with Trae Young. They can. And this was a down year for Trae Young. He's still giving you 28 and 10. Like, stop it, bro. I understand he might be an annoying player, but it's only 3 other guards that can fuck with Trae Young. All the other point guards that fuck with Trae Young. And anybody on him, they cannot fuck with. So, yeah, I don't really have to explain that much, but one of the best scorers in the league. He's fucking 5'11", one of the best scorers in the league. Arguably the best playmaker in the league. So I think it's between him, Jokic, Steph, and Luka. But yeah, I don't have to explain Trae Young. I wanted to put him over Dame. And shit, the 3rd best point guard in the league is Trae Young. Shout out to, no, I'm sorry, Dame is not better than Trae. Okay, I take it back. Let's be honest, I literally cannot persuade you after the year that Dame just had that Trae is better. But listen, shout out to Dame. Dame is the 3rd best point guard in the league. Had one of the most efficient scoring seasons we've ever seen. It's so crazy because I always forget that he dropped 70. That's just because Donovan shit. First of all, he's on my team, and then Donovan was like, it was off a pretty historic comeback, but like Dame was just blowing the Rockets out. But yeah, he dropped 71 too. But Dame just had a very crazy season. The shooting was crazy. The one slight you can say is like this was a pretty decent Portland Trailblazers team, and we've seen him carry worse, and the fact that they didn't even make the play-in, and he played a good amount of games. That's a slight you could say to Dame, but like that would just really be nitpicking. You just gotta respect him, bro. And shout out to him for finally wanting to get out. Wish it wasn't to Miami, but yeah, Dame is at number 3, and that's pretty comfortable. And to wrap up the video, I have Luka Doncic at 2 and Steph Curry at 1. Listen, I really don't see any argument you can make for having Luka over Steph. You can have the playmaking, but still Steph is one of the best playmakers of all time. Even though it's not on ball all the time, he's one of the best playmakers of all time. You don't understand that. I can explain it to you, but it's like it should be self-explanatory. And I don't think he's. Listen, it's gonna sound crazy when I say it, but again, one of, if not the best of all time. I don't think he's a better scorer. I don't think he can fuck with Steph Curry when it comes to scoring. Like, Steph is one of the best of all time, still doing this at 34, 35. So, and listen, before he got hurt, he was having his best season of all time. Like, I was saying this all year. You can't really give me a logical reason why you have him over Steph. And just to see what Steph did, like in the Lakers series, and then 50 in King series in Game 7. Shout out to Luka though. The team is shit, and to carry that team though for what 2-3 years, that's just a lot to do. And I'm happy he got some help now, so we can see what he do this year. He could probably surpass Curry, but Curry would have to drop off because, and I don't see that shit happening for like another 3 years. Like, really, the way we look at LeBron, we're like, oh bro, he's 38. Like, Steph is 36, he's 35 or 36. So, like, we got to start saying that about Steph because he might be doing better what Braun was doing at that age. Because I'm not going to lie, sometimes it looked like he's getting better, and that shit is weird. And it's not a Braun bash video. I know how you Braun stands are, but, like, Steph is a motherfucker. That's it, bro. That's it for the video. Shooting guard video. Next, of course, let me know how you think about this. I can't wait to get to that small forward video because I got some takes. But let's go. Oh, actually, I got some takes for the shooting guard video. I'll talk to y'all later.